Sergeant Baker. He's their public information officer.
By the way, I'm Avi.
Hi, I don't think we have. I'm Sammy.
Nice to meet you,
Nice
Sammy.
to meet you.
I was gonna say, I knew that you're a 9 first because press elimination, but also I see those tiny little cameras.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that nice?
I always see your guys at.
Gotta love a take nothing.
You get to do that with the tiny cameras, and I have this bigger thing. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, the smaller camera is definitely beneficial. Yeah. All right.
Well, nice to meet you, Sammy.
It was nice to meet you.
Pleasant.
I'm sad it's under these circumstances. Yeah. Just FYI, we are going to be streaming this on Facebook.
Yeah.
So, just be aware. Hey, Kirsten, just want to make sure we're ready to go. Okay. Okay, sweet. I'm just waiting to make them up. Thanks. Yes. No, the other reporters. That's why I was like, oh God, did you take it already? Because I was nervous. Okay. Thank you. Bye. Ooh, it's chilly. Guys, the Coloradan in me really just died when I moved to Texas.
Colorado?
Yep, sure am.
Where in Colorado are you from?
Golden.
I got cousins in Breckenridge.
Oh, very cool.
I've been there a couple times.
Yeah, it's the best.
It's cold there too.
It is cold. Yeah, I was not planning on being.
I'm wearing a suit jacket and a polo and tennis shoes and Lululemon pants. I was like not ready for this at all.
At least you're not wearing shorts.
Russell?
Yeah, that's true. Not even bad.
No. Why would he be here?
Russell.
Tippin.
Oh, okay. I know he was at Scenic earlier. They had a lot of their nurses come out.
Oh, they did.
At least to the hospital or the scene or something.
Ooh, I'm surprised. Why wouldn't ORMC come? Because it's their hospital.
No idea.
All right. We're on standby. I'm just gonna hop in the warm car.
Speaking as well as the mayor and the superintendent of Andrews High School.
Is it okay if we mic you guys up?
Yeah, if you want to, if you got multiple mics, or I don't know how you want to do that exactly.
We can.
Yeah.
I mean, we're used to that.
Yeah, we are. Okay. Just. And then, do you mind putting this just in your back pocket?
Not at all.
Back memories. Once
All right.
So they're going to run that up your side there, and we'll do the same thing back here and run it back.
All right.
Okay.
I'm not. Put it where you want it.
Yeah, okay.
I ain't scared.
Stack.
Yeah.
Sammy, let me know if that messes with your sound.
No, we're good.
Run you back here. Hold on. Go. Got it.
Are they going to be able to? Y'all going to be able to hear them with my mics, or y'all going to?
I'll just be holding it like this.
Okay, is that going to work? So.
Good, I'll be able to get that for you.
All right.
You want me to get
I'm
that
gonna.
Thanks, Sergio.
I'm going to be focused on your head.
Okay,
All right.
sounds
So.
good. Sounds good. All right, Sergio, I'm gonna have you just put that down a bit. There we go.
Don't
there
cover
we
my
go.
little clipboard there.
Okay, perfect. Ready whenever you guys are.
I'm ready.
Okay, you can tell us your name and how you spell it.
Justin Baker, JUSTIN BAKER, Media Communications, Safety Education, San Angelo, Texas, in the West Texas region.
So, Sergeant, walk us through what happened tonight.
So at approximately 4:46 p.m. today, Texas State Troopers were dispatched to a major crash on Interstate 20 near the I-179 mile marker. Upon arrival, preliminary investigation shows that a Ford F-350 entered Interstate 20 traveling westbound in the eastbound lane for unknown reasons. We also had 3 Andrews charter buses traveling eastbound on Interstate 20 in the same location. They were traveling from Andrews to Sweetwater for a football playoff game. The Ford F-350 collided head-on with the first charter bus, causing extensive damage. There was a secondary crash with the second charter bus with minor damages, and the third bus was not struck at all. Now, the driver of the Ford F-350 was pronounced dead on scene due to the injuries sustained during the crash. The first charter bus had 25 students and 3 adults. 2 of those students and 1 adult were airlifted to Lubbock Memorial Hospital. The 2 students are being treated for currently in critical but stable condition. And sadly, the adult succumbed to his injuries sustained during the crash. We also had 11 students and 1 adult that were transported to Big Spring Hospital, where they are being treated currently for non-life-threatening injuries. We do have the state crash team on scene investigating the crash, and as we gather more details, we'll be able to release those, but right now it's an ongoing investigation, and we're being as thorough as possible with that investigation.
So that 1 adult on the Andrews bus, do you know who that adult was?
We're not going to be able to release names at this time because it's important to make sure we have done proper notification to family members before we put that information out there.
So we don't know if it was a driver or a band director yet?
We're not going to be able to release any specifics on that at this time.
Are you going to be able to release any specifics on numbers and the amount of people who are injured?
Again, we're still processing all that information. Like I said, I was able to get the accurate number for the first bus, but I realized that there are 2 other buses, and we need to make sure we get accurate details on those buses as well.
And are some students still being interviewed here?
Right, this is an ongoing investigation. There are statements being taken at this time. We're here at the Big Spring Athletic field, and appreciate y'all making this available to where we can do a thorough investigation, and parents and victim services are here as well, helping these students during this catastrophic incident.
You know, we hate meeting during circumstances like this, but it was only, a few years ago that a school bus on a Friday night was carrying cheerleaders. That,
Right.
A similar situation happened. What is your message to parents out there where this is their worst fear? They're sending their kids off to school, it's Friday night, and this happens.
Yeah, well, that's the first place my mind went with that horrible crash that happened a few years back. And being a parent myself that has athletes that travel, and a spouse that travels as a coach, this is one of those moments, you're right, you never want to think of, and you never want to get that phone call. And our hearts go out to the community, and it's all we can do is think about Andrews and have them in our thoughts and prayers during this time, and pray as they try to put the pieces of the puzzle back together and trying to figure out how to move on after this event. We just give them the most support we can in every which way.
Officer Baker, I went over to the location where the wreck was. Was there any, I didn't see any construction there. Was there any construction in the area, please? And
Not
if you
that
could
I'm
just direct
aware.
your answer that way.
I'm not aware of that being any construction zones. Again, the details of the crash are being investigated, and we'll have all that determined in conclusion of that crash.
How are the students holding up inside?
I can only imagine what they're thinking, what they're going through right now is they're still in that state of shock. I mean, this is going to be one of those things that's going to be something that's going to stick in their minds for a long time to come. So again, that's where we just as a community have to come together and help these students and the parents and the staff and everybody that we can and just be there for them. So.
Can you talk a little bit about the support from Big Spring? I mean, there was some coordination, obviously, to get them here into this building and settled. What has that coordination been like, and what has the help been like from Big Spring folks to Andrews?
Well, they've been abundantly helpful from the time I've arrived on scene to seeing what they've done to provide food and water and the victim services support. I mean, they've been amazing to help out in this situation.
And Sergeant, that other vehicle that was traveling in the wrong direction, do we know at all if alcohol played into this?
And that's still under investigation. That's undetermined at this time.
Do we know what kind of vehicle that was?
It was a Ford F-350, and it did catch fire at the scene, and as a result of the crash.
Was the bus ever on fire?
Not that I'm aware of. I'm not 100% sure on that.
So 3 Andrews buses total involved.
Well, the bus 1 and 2 were struck by the truck. The third bus was a non-contact vehicle.
And those other 2 buses, were they carrying merchant grade students as well?
Andrews students as well. I don't know exactly what the students' activities were.
How many people were in the traveling group in total?
I don't have that information at this time. And we have the superintendent with Andrews here to speak as well, and the mayor. I'll let the superintendent speak first, and I guess he needs to just stand close to me right here. So,
You okay?
do y'all want to re-mic it? Okay.
Thanks, Sergeant.
Yeah, like I said, y'all take what y'all need to. I know how they work.
You're next. Okay, great.
Got you in the middle.
If you don't mind putting that in your back pocket there.
Yes, ma'am. Hopefully that was accurate. Does that sound right?
No, it's a lot of details to keep track of.
And we'll run you over here.
Dang
Do
it.
the exact same thing we just did.
We'll have you scoot
Oh.
ready whenever you guys are.
Do you need me to say?
Can you say your name and your
Yes, I'm Bobby Azam, Superintendent of Schools at Andrews ISD.
Could you, sorry, I'm adjusting on my phone. All right. Okay. Well, we are just so sorry that you were having to deal with this.
Yes, ma'am. It's a tragic day. Want to thank everybody who responded when we got to the scene. There were lots of people, of course, first responders, so we can't say enough about everyone who was there. It was mentioned earlier, the outpouring of Big Spring and surrounding communities for their facilities, and just the immediate response. They offered buses and people, so it was more than great.
what do you still need?
What we need a lot of support tonight. A lot of things. Just we need to get kids home, but authorities have their jobs to do. Tremendous amount of response, reaching out from surrounding schools across the state. Offered counseling services. Just we need prayer, and we'll get through tonight. But the tough part will be the days to come. And so
Yeah. So these kids are, if you're a superintendent, you have to have a bond with your students.
Yes, sir.
How are you feeling right now?
Today's been a long day. A lot of great kids in our school. These kids were going to support teams, and to come up on a scene like that, You don't ever think you will. But our prayers are with those that are still receiving services and those that have lost loved ones. It's going to be in some long days, but we're West Texas, and people have already pulled together tonight, and I can't thank first responders, the community, Big Spring ISD, all the people. It's made it doable.
So what is going through your mind? You know, it's Friday. It's about to be, you know, Thanksgiving week.
Yeah.
Close to the playoffs.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful fall Friday, and you get a phone call like you did.
Yeah, actually, we were about 15 cars behind the bus, so we actually arrived on the scene. So, but more than anything, it reminds you of what's important, and we were excited and we were energetic, and then reality kicks in, and so yeah, it's the phone call would be terrible, but we were glad to be there to be able to offer help, but that's not something you'll forget ever.
Describe that scene when you
Well,
arrived.
I appreciate
it's pretty rough.
what you said. And,
Yes, sir.
yeah,
Thank you.
so.
But I do want to say I appreciate the support and what's still going on with Big Spring ISD and the community. We can't say thank you enough.
So this next coming week, you'll have 3
All right.
days. What can we do?
We'll have counseling support, our churches, people, just prayer, and just keep us in your minds and thoughts. So thank you.
Thank you. I should have bailed you out there. a
I
little
appreciate
sooner. Yeah, I know how that goes.
Thank you. Oh, sorry.
I don't know which way you're around here. Yeah. All right.
Thank you.
Thank y'all very much.
We will really be
I
saying prayers
appreciate
for
you.
you.
Thank you, man. Thank you all very
You've
much.
got some long days ahead of you, so just know the prayers won't stop tonight.
Thank you, man. Thank y'all very much.
Yeah, you bet.
Oh, you're very welcome.
All right, Mayor, you're familiar with this.
I've done it once or twice.
Just once or twice, yeah. Okay. Up and over.
Okay.
If you want to put that in your back pocket.
There you go. Just slide it in the pocket. Yeah.
Behind this board.
You want me there with you? You want to do
Either or.
I'll let you
Yeah,
do it.
yeah.
All right.
Now.
You've done it if you've done it.
Alrighty.
Okay. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. If you can tell us your name and how you spell it,
Sure.
you can look just right at me.
Shannon Thomason, SHANNON,
And official title.
Mayor, City of Big Spring.
So, Mayor, you know, I spoke to you this afternoon when we had just found out, hey, we're getting calls about students that
Right.
potentially could be injured. You didn't know anything about it, and then come to find out, you know, it's true.
Right.
What's going through your mind?
Well, immediately when a situation like this comes up, obviously our first step, especially in one of this scale, is to immediately activate our Emergency Operations Command, which is basically all the resources of the city of Big Spring poured into responding to an event. And then, of course, you know, I got down here myself just as quickly as I possibly could. So, you know, it's situations like this are just heartbreaking. But, you know, we as a community, you know, we as a city have a job to do, and we as a community have our neighbors to consider.
And so Andrews and Big Spring, they are rivals on the
Not
field.
tonight. Not tonight.
What's that communication been like with other officials from Andrews, letting them know that this is a place that they can be, this is a place where they'll be safe, and that people can kind of catch their breath and process a little bit?
Well, what I've been involved in has been very open and, you know, hopefully, you know, very helpful to them.
Is there any words of comfort for the families?
Well, just know that I personally and all of the citizens of Big Spring, our hearts go out to the families of everyone involved, especially those that have been hurt or have tragically been lost. It's heartbreaking when something like this happens to a community, and I'm just glad that Big Spring was able to step up and support our neighbors.
You saw just how many donations, one car after the next. I mean, I would say, I'd go out on a lim and say at least 50 cars dropped off things tonight.
Oh, absolutely. There was a wall of pizza in there. And that's something else I'd really like to express is my pride, appreciation, and thanks to the citizens of Big Spring. Not just my police and fire and streets that responded to the accident, but Superintendent Jay McWilliams at Big Spring Independent School District, Principal Mike Ritchie with Big Spring High School, and all the citizens of Big Spring who either brought food or water or and even just prayed. It means so much to me. It's really a matter of pride. It makes me really proud to be part of the city of Big Spring.
So these people will be very well taken care of.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Whatever we can do.
You talk about how Big Spring quickly came together to do this. How did the city or the school district settle on this specific location?
That was coordinated through our emergency management coordinator, Fire Chief Craig Ferguson. He communicated with Superintendent McWilliams, and the school district sent over buses. And like I said, this was just a convenient location, one that is, kind of high school kid friendly, so to speak. And so that's how it was coordinated.
Has there been any discussion? I mean, we approach maybe too soon here, but has there been any discussion on how to support Andrews and these kids moving forward in the coming days?
Well, and whatever they need that the city of Big Spring and Big Spring Independent School District can provide, obviously, we would handle that. I know tonight there have been crisis counselors, chaplains visiting with the kids, praying with them as needed, and I'm certain that as this progresses, that they'll continue to get the same kind of support whenever they get back home.
And Big Spring will be open to them through the night, I imagine.
As long as they need.
Well, Mayor, anything else that you'd like to add that we didn't touch on?
Not that I can think of, other than, again, to reiterate, how terrible we all feel, how heartbroken we are for Andrews and Andrews Independent School District. Our prayers go out with them, and we just want to express, that we're here for them, and we're all Texas strong.
You guys good?
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Sure.
Thank you, Mayor.
Oh, always. My pleasure.
That mic from you.
Wait. I got one there. Oh. If you would.
I'm in this
Oh, okay.
pocket. This
All right.
one.
No, side.
There it is. Yeah, perfect. Okay, great.
Alrighty.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm just going to mic myself up here. Okay. Great. That is CBS 7's. Yep. Well, if you were joining us from Facebook, you just heard from 3 officials, the superintendent, the mayor of Big Spring, and DPS, all working together to find more information on what exactly happened tonight and really just coming together. I mean, the mayor said it perfectly here at the end, Shannon Thompson. He said, yes, we are rivals, Big Spring and Andrews, but we are not rivals tonight. And so we do know that Big Spring is going to continue to offer this space here at the Athletic Center for Andrews students. We are told that there are still some that are being interviewed and, working with DPS. DPS officers are still trying to investigate this situation. I mean, as you just heard, this involved 3 buses. Now, 2 of them that were impacted and then a third that followed just shortly behind. And then something else that the superintendent touched on, he was only 15 cars behind the initial crash. And that is something that I've been hearing time and time again tonight, is that it has been a caravan almost of Andrews community members that witnessed this crash and were the first people on the scene to help. And so, if you rewind this Facebook Live here, you're going to get the very specifics on how many people were injured, who was airlifted where, what hospitals they are at. All of this information we just learned here, but we can confirm to you that it is a double fatality. As to who that second fatality is, we know that the person who hit the bus, who was driving on the service road, we do know that that person is deceased, but we do not know who the deceased person is that was on the Andrews school bus. We just know that it is not a student. So tonight, as you just heard all of these officials say, they are just wrapping this community, these students, these parents, these people in prayer. And hoping that in the next few days that prayer continues. As you know, the holidays start next week. We have Thanksgiving. Andrews ISD will be in school until Wednesday. Again, here they were offering crisis counseling. I imagine they will continue that. As we head into this school week, we will continue to update you through the weekend on News West 9. You can continue to follow my social media at Sammy Steele News for updates on this situation, and of course, newswest9.com and here on Facebook. Well, we will have more updates on this very, again, active situation that we are gathering more details on by the minute tonight at 10.